If you have been running an e-learning business on WordPress, you are certainly familiar with LearnDash. And personally speaking, I run a pretty well-established, pretty good size e-learning business on LearnDash. But that said, I have not been very happy with it. And that also said, I did not choose to start the business with LearnDash. I acquired the business and it was running LearnDash. So LearnDash is just what I got. But the more I've used it and gotten into it over the last year or so, the less I really like it. So I've gone out and started looking for alternatives to it. And one option has really stood out here, and that is MasterStudy. This MasterStudy by Stylemix Themes, who I was unfamiliar with until I found this page. So I'm going to go through here and point out some of the things that I like about MasterStudy over LearnDash and why I am considering MasterStudy. And on that note, if you are out there and you are running an e-learning business on WordPress, let me know in the comments below what you think about MasterStudy as a WordPress LMS, or if you're considering setting up a new website using a WordPress LMS, let me know in the comments below as well. And if you find this video helpful or insightful at any point, you know the drill, smash that like button to help me out in the YouTube algorithm. Now, let's get into it here. This is the MasterStudy starter demo. And what I really like about it is the front end, just how it looks, particularly as you come to the course list and the course pages here. And I'll open some of these up in new tabs. And I'm really just opening them up at random, so I don't really know exactly what is going to be shown, but on the front end, MasterStudy just really excels here. LearnDash ultimately just kind of shows you some rudimentary courses. So we'll go in here, we'll just kind of open up the first one here, which is a course grid, right? And it shows you all of your different options. Pretty robust course grid with filters. LearnDash does not have that, and let me just go to a LearnDash demo here. The LearnDash courses page is very rudimentary. It just displays a list, and you can sort it based on, newest course released or A to Z, but that's basically all you get. So if you get a business that has dozens or hundreds of courses, LearnDash is an absolute mess for getting users to navigate around to find the courses. Whereas with MasterStudy, they've got all these filters built into it here. That looks like a courses page. It's another course page. Where's the, here we are. So I was saying course page. There's a difference between course and courses. This is the courses page, and it shows all the different pages. We'll come back and look at the individual course page in a second here. You can see you can filter it in so many different ways, and there are a lot of options for what can be done on this page that LearnDash simply does not have. And then going to the individual course level, MasterStudy has quite a few different options here for displaying all of the information that a course would need to have displayed to public visitors. And it looks quite well. LearnDash did just update their course page here for non-logged in users, and logged in users, I should say, but I am logged in at the moment. If we look at it now, well, it's not what I was expecting to see there. I'm not going to try and toggle the settings around while recording, but they did just do an update here and made this a little better, but it is still a couple steps behind what MasterStudy has already built out and already made. So that is awesome. You don't need to, layer on a bunch of extra things or coding to get these style pages here in MasterStudy, which I really like. Some of the other things that really stand out here is the ability to do Zoom conferences. So there's live streaming, there's Zoom lesson. So you can do conferences in here. I'm not seeing it exactly where I thought it would be, but you can do a Zoom you can do a lesson via Zoom, and I think that this would ultimately be useful for possibly setting up like group coaching or one-on-one tutoring or something like that. And the other thing is, and this is really cool, MasterStudy allows to have instructors create and add courses as well natively. Now, mind you, all of this stuff can be done in LearnDash, but you have to start layering on plugin after plugin after plugin. So here we can see an instructor can just come right here and add another course. And this segues me into one of what I think is the biggest weaknesses of LearnDash and strong points of MasterStudy, and that is adding course material. So let me just show you in LearnDash here where you would add a course. Basically, what you have to do is you have to create the topic separately, right? So you'd have to come in here to new and then go to topic and quiz and create a bunch of topics and quizzes. And then you basically pull them together to make a lesson. It's not very intuitive because intuitively, as we want to create courses, we add a new lesson and then we want to add a new topic, right? And then add another topic and then add a lesson, then add a topic. In this case with LearnDash, you have to almost work in like reverse order is what it feels like, by creating the topics first and then adding them to each lesson. So you have to lay out all your topics and then pull them in. It is just so unintuitive in my opinion. I really do not like using it. With MasterStudy here, as you can go, you can just add the content to your lesson and to your courses and build it in a much more intuitive function, or in a much more intuitive manner, I should say. Things just kind of happen a lot easier here in MasterStudy. So I really like that about it. Some of the other things here that I'll point out, two key features that I use that are built in natively to MasterStudy are group courses right here for if we're selling to like an enterprise B2B and they're enrolling their whole staff. You can do that in here. LearnDash requires extra plugin for that. And then the certificate builder. We have to have extra plugins to generate the certificates of completion. In our case, they are for continuing professional education credits that are accredited by a nationally recognized body. So it's a very serious deal. We have to have another plugin for that. In this case, it's included. And then the reporting, and you can see some of this where we were at the instructor level, but the reporting here in MasterStudy is much better. LearnDash also needs more plugins to get into or to generate reports. So you have to have another plugin for reporting in LearnDash, and you have to pay. And with each one of these plugins, you have to pay a little bit more money. So with LearnDash, you're layering on plugins and costs as you go. So let's talk about the cost here. With LearnDash, you are paying, where are we at here? Let's go to LearnDash pricing. $199 a year for a site. And then you have to add on all of the extra things. And I've got, group learning, I've got certificate builders, I've got reporting, I've got so many things that I've got added onto it. I don't even know what my total cost is annually to run this, but I would guess that it is over $2,000. Actually, I can confidently say it's over $2,000 with all of the add-ons that I have to plug in here. And all of that stuff would be included in MasterStudy, which let's see if we can find the pricing on it. I looked at it before starting this video recording. All right, here we go. If you go right to the MasterStudy theme creators website and find their pricing page, and I'll put a link to this below, you can see their pricing direct. Now, a single site here is $99 a year, which is a little bit more than the Envato's $59. I'm not quite sure what the difference is, but I would personally still buy it from the MasterStudy website directly. But check this out here. You can go lifetime for one site, $249. So that is still a much better deal than paying $199 a year for LearnDash. And that's not even considering the fact that with LearnDash, you have to pay for all of the extra plugins and stuff that you are going to use. So I'm going to look further into MasterStudy as I look further into switching my WordPress e-learning business that's using LearnDash as the LMS over to MasterStudy here. Now, it's much easier, I will say, to start building with one platform than it is to switch, because, when you switch, you got to consider, how's all the content going to change? What's going to have to be updated? How are my users going to be handled? It's a very, very time-consuming and tedious process. But on that note, I'm going to sign up to MasterStudy and start testing this out on a dev site, because I think overall MasterStudy is a superior WordPress LMS. On that note, guys, what is your thought? Let me know in the comments below. I'm calling it a wrap and signing off.